Good day friends, and welcome to another short video in our series on core skills for project managers and engineers. And in this video we're going to be discussing the topic of scheduling. Now in our previous videos we approached these topics from the perspective of what it is, why you need to do it, and how do you do it. But in this video we want to add another discussion element, and that is our natural tendency. So when it comes to scheduling or goal setting or planning, our natural tendency is to unfortunately be in denial. We tend to take the path of least resistance, and therefore we try and avoid any hardships or difficulty. So when it comes to planning, we like to wing it. We just want to get into it and just get it done. And therefore our natural tendency is to actually avoid the effort and the hard work of sitting down and systematically planning things. So let's answer the first question. What is scheduling? Well, scheduling is a planning task. It is planning all the work or tasks which you need to perform in order to achieve the objectives. It is a systematic and very deliberate process of sitting down and sequencing all the pieces of work or events that need to take place at specific intervals or specific times in order to meet the objectives of the project or the client or the contract. That is what scheduling is. So why would you want to take all the effort to schedule something? Well, I think the answer is straightforward. No one wants to lose. We all want to win. And by actually taking the effort of scheduling the work, you are increasing the odds of success. You are tilting the odds in your favor. And Dr. Gail Matthews, a professor at the University of California, actually did a study where she found that by merely writing down your goals, you increase the likelihood by 42% of actually realizing those goals. So just by sitting down and planning your work or your project, you are already tilting the odds of success in your favor. Well, another reason why you want to schedule is because by sitting down and planning, you are reducing the risk. As a matter of fact, by scheduling the work, you are actually maximizing and optimizing your time and your resources. You also want to schedule because that gives you control of how the sequence of events need to play out. What needs to happen when and who needs to do it. And lastly, from a business perspective, you want to schedule because you want to understand the amount of contingency you have, and therefore you want to maximize your margin. So how do you go about scheduling? Well, there's a lot of courses out there that helps you schedule projects, and we're not going to talk about that. But I think from a principle perspective, you want to think about the following and remember the following. Well, how do you go about scheduling? Well, firstly is you need to use your work breakdown structure and definitely start with your deliverables, which you've defined in your scope statement. Then once you've got a good understanding of that, you want to then take each of those work breakdown structure components and you want to further break them down into the tasks which are required that you need to do in order to actually deliver that work package or that deliverable. How you go about it? Well, you need to preferably not do it by hand, and it's definitely advisable to use a scheduling software tool. And there are good tools out there, MS Project, Primavera. There's also some free tools like ProjectLibre. Another thing that you want to maybe keep in mind when you want to schedule is to look at logical relationships and test the logic of your sequencing. You also want to be realistic. Do your scheduling with a realistic mindset, not too pessimistic and not too optimistic. And lastly, you want to test your schedule with your team, but you also want to test it against your contract and with your client. I want to end off with a quote from J.R.R. Tolkien's famous book, The Hobbit. Therein he says, "It does not do to leave a live dragon out of your calculations, especially if you live near one." So when it comes to scheduling, guess what? You are the live dragon. So you want to hack your natural tendency to take the path of least resistance. So you want to increase the odds, and you want to therefore schedule your work and schedule your project. Be professional, be disciplined, and work against your own bad habits. There you go. That's all for today on scheduling. We'll see you again in our next video, where we will be discussing some core skills for project managers and engineers. We'll see you soon. Cheers.